All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting but not really episode of Kinda Not Tears. It's gonna be weird today. Also, I have to fix something. Hold, please.
Yeah, I was about to tell you.
I made the changes. I made the wrong changes.
Damn, that's crazy.
All right, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna cut, and then we go paste, and then we go here and there, and then we hit the update button. Boom. Theoretically, that should fix it. I promise I'm better at this than I seem. All right, so let's try this again. Hello again, adventurers. Welcome to the first exciting episode of I'm going to be doing some weird stuff today, and y'all get to watch us.
Whee!
The daggers.
If anyone has been paying attention, you may have noticed it's been a little bit
Been a while.
since
It's been a while.
we've been playing, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Urabuddy has been doing awesome stuff. Lex is, in line for a Tony next week.
Whoa, hold on.
Kiri
Hold on a minute.
is,
Calm down.
taking over the free world with writing. Ilea is now like Megamind levels of genius. Like it's pretty amazing. But this week we were again not going to have enough people to run, and I don't like just not having something for you guys for this long. So I decided I was going to do something a little bit different. If anyone is unaware, on Tuesday of this past week, a brand new TTRPG launched called Daggerheart. It's from the people over at Darrington Press, which is the publishing arm of Critical Role. And it's getting some hype right now. A lot of people are very happy with it. A few people are less than happy with it. And then there's always some people that no matter what Critical Role does, they're going to be upset. But overall, it has been pretty cool. And ever since the playtest, I've been kind of itching to run a game. So, because I couldn't run Realms of the Wild today, or Tears of the Realm, sorry, I decided that I was going to run a Daggerheart game in the Legend of Zelda universe, and the people below me are the people that were able to agree to do this in like less than 24 hours. So, yeah. Just because some of you are not regular guests, let's go ahead and like introduce ourselves, and feel free. Let's go ahead and introduce your characters as well. So we'll start with the person that's on the left, and most of the audience should be familiar with. Lex, introduce yourself and your character.
Me? I can't believe you do this. Hi, I'm Lex. I run AV here and CU mostly, and play a himbo normally. And I am playing a character named Liana, who is a Qatari wizard. So basically, I'm a cat wizard. Which is fun, and it's a school of war, which means only offensive spells, no healing.
Very cool. As far as how that fits into the world of The Legend of Zelda, do they have cat people in Breath of the Wild? I don't think so. We're just going to say you're an actual cat, because they've got plenty of cats.
Either that, or I'm a Zonai, and I'm okay with either.
Oh, Zonai, yeah. They're Vulpine, but yeah, cat works.
There's no Vulpine ancestry, so we're gonna go with Zonai.
Cool. So you're a Zonai.
Screw
That's
it.
awesome.
Great, they're hot.
Chris, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
I'm Chris. I'm playing an Sheikah Rogue, which, Chica kind of lightens up with really well. Shadows are my friend.
Very, very cool. Chris is actually one of my Wednesday night players. And then finally, Joshua, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello. I'm Joshua, also known as Imp in My Head. I'm usually the guy who can either harass Jody in chat, or I'm in two of his regular games on Wednesdays. Pronouns he, him. My character is Durf. This is a deep cut in this very nerdy section of Zelda Universe TV. Durf is a Dark Nut. He is one of the Triforcers who is currently out and about on his own while his two cohorts are off doing other things.
So, yeah, so those are those people. Before we get into the game itself, we have some announcements.
Just saying real quick, just buy Gary's book,
Yes.
Witch's Guide to Magic and Murder. Buy it. Just buy it. Buy it. Pre-order. You can still pre-order.
So, announcements. First things first, very early this morning, a new episode of the ZU Cast went live. Connor's on it, along with two other people that I can't remember their names because my brain doesn't remember proper nouns. But I listened to the whole thing. It's fascinating. They talk about some music and some other stuff and Majora's Mask and other cool things. So check it out. It's a great listen and fun stuff like that. In addition, we just finished a big anniversary for I think it was the first dub that ZU did, or one of the first dubs, the Hyrule Warriors dub. So they kind of I think they re-released it or re-recorded it or something because my brain doesn't remember, and all of it's up on the YouTube channel now. So very cool stuff going on there.
Also, we're 2-ish weeks from Switch 2.
Yeah, June. It's nonsense, right? I went as far because I knew I was never going to be able to actually secure a Switch 2 pre-order at a regular place. I did the whole thing where you go to Nintendo and you go, please, sir, I'd like a Switch 2. And they go, we will reserve a Switch 2 for you to buy. And then I got an email like last week going, so a lot of people want the Switch 2.
Yeah.
We've got one set aside for you. It's just not ready yet, and we'll shoot you a message later.
I got lucky and I put myself in the queue for Best Buy, and then I finished writing some emails after a callback, looked at my phone, and watched Best Buy update with this is now in your cart. And I'm like, oh, wild.
Buy.
And then managed to get it. I'm like, it was unironically the easiest pre-order I've ever done, and I'm like, this is wild. All right.
As someone who used to work at Best Buy, I'm very surprised and glad for you.
I also used to work at Best Buy, so I'm also very surprised.
I believe the ZU team, somebody on the ZU team, has gotten a hands-on, because I thought we did a review of the Switch 2 or something like that on the website. I might be thinking of a different thing. A few press groups have gotten hands-on with the Switch 2 already, and we're starting to see reviews and things like that coming out.
That is correct. We did. We have really good contacts in Australia, and that's where a couple of our larger like team members are. So Shona and Dave got to play the Switch 2 at the Melbourne event.
Ah, okay. So, yeah, everything I've heard thus far, again, aside from a few people that are just always going to be upset, reactions to the Switch 2 have been really positive. Like, a lot of people are liking a lot of things about it. I believe ZU is looking for people that would be willing to help with the notes feature when Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom get updated for the Switch 2. There's this new thing called Notes that helps out with a bunch of things, but part of that Notes thing is there's these new audio files that you can find when you're playing both of those games. So, yeah, if you're interested in like volunteering and contributing to ZU, contact ZU through various methods. They're everywhere. They're like MasterCard, everywhere you want to be.
Well, yes.
Anyway, so yeah, ZU's doing a lot of cool stuff in the world of tabletop RPGs. Obviously, Daggerheart just came out, and there has been a flurry of people to talking about it. In addition to the actual game launching, they also launched a website called The Void, which is basically their version of Unearthed Arcana, where they will put new playtest materials and stuff before they're ready to publish it. There are 2 classes there already. There's a Warlock class, and they call it a fighter. It's a monk. It does unarmed attacks. It's a monk. But yeah, both of those are there for playtesting and things like that, which is super, super cool. And the online tool set for Daggerheart is done through a partnership with a company called Demiplane, which is owned by Roll20. And as we have discovered while getting all of this stuff set up, they have a way to link your Roll20 account to your Demiplane account. And when you do that, if you play Daggerheart on Roll20, you can actually import the character sheet that you build on Demiplane directly into Roll20 and use the exact same character sheet, the exact same interface in Roll20. It's super cool. It works fairly well for the most part. But I do have to emphasize the character sheet integration is still in its beta phase. So there are issues that will eventually be worked out. But it is really, really cool. And I'm a big fan. There are other TTRPGs that also do the character sheet integration. I just don't own any of them. So actually being able to do it with Daggerheart has been cool and fun.
You literally go to Roll20, go to your profile where it says you click your little name on Roll20, go over there, go to My Account. It's a choice right there. You can link your account and you sync the content.
Yep. So it's super cool, super interesting. I like it. And there's a few TTRPGs that if you have your account synced and you buy them on Demiplane, you will get the equivalent content on Roll20 and vice versa. Again, it's not every single thing that's hosted on the Demiplane, and Daggerheart is not one of those that have synced content as of right now. If that changes, it's possible that might change in the future. We don't know. But it is a cool thing. Also, I have a subscription to Roll20 because it gives me free stuff, and I like free stuff. And because I linked my account, it means I also have a subscription to Demiplane, which means I was able to share all my Daggerheart stuff with the 3 people here, so they could make characters and do all that cool stuff. So it's a cool thing. I like it. Anyway, any other big announcements going on? Anything else going on at ZU, Lex, that we should be aware of?
Not anything super duper huge at the moment.
We did just, I know Amanda participated in a charity thing like a month-ish ago.
Yeah, that was the last thing on here. I actually switched the things today to make sure that it was all the correct stuff.
So
like titles and stuff. So we're all good.
That was a cool thing that Amanda was a part of. Yeah. Anyway, I think it is time for us to return to something that I haven't done before. So,
Daggerheart.
Here we go. Zelda, but make it Daggerheart.
To give kind of an overview of what's going to happen today. Again, Daggerheart is a brand new system. I have never run it. None of these people have ever played it before. Things are going to be weird. But we're going to do... and this is something that I threw together, like I said, in about 24 hours. So things are going to be weird. Things are not going to work the way that they're supposed to. It's perfectly okay. As far as story-wise, what is happening? This particular game is going to be set in between the Realms of the Wild campaign and the Tears of the Kika Kingdom campaign, literally the halfway point. There was a 10-year gap in time between those two games, and we are 5 years after the end of Realms of the Wild. To give a brief synopsis of what happened 5 years ago, there was an event that caused Hyrule to be split into 3 separate realms, 3 separate timelines, where the big difference between each one was that the hero would be associated with a different piece of the Triforce each time. The kind of regular timeline that everyone else is familiar with is the Courage realm, where Link would get the power of courage. There was another realm where Link would get would be associated with the power of wisdom, and it was a very technologically advanced civilization. The Rito had these giant flying cities, and that version of Link used a lot of gadgets and gizmos. And then the final realm was the realm of power, where Link was associated with the Triforce of Power, and he was a extremely powerful magic user. Well, these 4 and eventually 5 heroes came together, who are now referred to as the Heroes of the Realms, and they were able to kind of fix the things that had shattered the realms into 3 different dimensions. And that event caused all 3 realms to merge into one. One of the side effects of that is most people, or technically everybody, had a version of themselves that lived in each one of these realms. And so when all 3 merged, they have kind of lingering memories of what happened in 3 different timelines, kind of knocking around in their brains. And so for a little bit of time, there's a bit of chaos as people kind of came to terms with everything that had happened, kind of merging all at once. But through the work of the heroes of the realms and the various leaders of the kingdoms, the heroes of the realms were able to enter Hyrule into this golden age of prosperity and cooperation. And because of their inspiration, there was a surge in adventuring heroes going out and trying to kind of solve problems that the heroes of the realms didn't really have the time to solve. And that's where we meet these 3 fine adventurers. All of you have kind of been inspired by the Heroes of the Realms in some way, shape, or form. One of you maybe more directly than the others. But you've all decided that it's in everyone's best interest to kind of be going around and trying to help the world get better. And recently, you all have heard rumors of something strange happening at the Dueling Peaks village. There's been some whispers of some strange things happening and some strange events happening at the Bubinga Forest, which is directly east of there. So you all are currently traveling towards the Bubinga, or not Bubinga. You guys are traveling to Dueling Peaks City, not village. Dueling Peaks City. And I have to adjust things so everything works. All right. So, to start things off, why don't we all give the audience? Why don't we start by kind of describing visually how you look? We'll start with Durf this time.
Durf is a very large character, constantly in plate armor. You see he's very dark navy blue skin. If you can't see any skin, which usually blends into the shadow of his helm, which he always wears. Like the basic description they give into the character sheet, he has eyes like winter. So all you ever see is just like his white eyes through the slit visor in his helm. Doesn't talk. Usually, if he does speak, it's usually creaks in the armor. People don't tend to like translate that like his friends usually do. Kind of a shorthand for his groups, Orf and Kerf, but they're off doing other things right now while we're sorting things out in this new economy. And Durf is out here, kind of wandered here. When he does have to communicate with anyone else, he quickly pulls out his handy-dandy notebook and starts scribbling what he needs. Shows that, and usually that's how he usually interacts with everybody else. Usually towering over most people.
Okay. And to start establishing some connections here, which member of this particular group did you meet first, and what about them made you consider traveling with them for the time being?
I think literally just like ran into Talda.
Okay.
And just like scribble, going my way, pointing to the next city.
All right. Well, let's hop over then to Talda. Talda, why don't you give us a physical description of what you look like?
Athletic, but always is wearing like this big coat that's cream colored with red trim. Very just generic Sheikah village clothing, so like navy blue pants and an undershirt. Gray hair that's kind of been tied up, the classic like ruby colored eyes, but just seems really relaxed most of the time, like way too chill for somebody traveling alone.
Okay. And then to create some connections, before actually meeting these two other people, you'd actually heard of one of them somehow. How did you hear? Who did you hear about? How did you hear about them? And how did that kind of change your opinion of them when you physically met them?
What is our wizard's name again?
Liana.
Liana. Essentially, because they're so rare, I had heard of a Zonai traveling around, and that in and of itself made me interested into meeting Liana.
Okay. And then when you met her, how did the fact that you were familiar with her before you met her change your opinion of her when you actually met her?
Oh, I expected someone much more serious, probably.
Knowing Lex,
You're not
wrong.
You don't even know me. How did you clock? Rude. Rude.
So, moving over to Liana, why don't you give us a description?
Liana is a Zonai of as we have previously established. She is relatively tall. Not as tall as Durf, but in this, like, not by a whole lot. She's got a lot of the, like, what you expect from Zonai, so long pointy ears, a kind of a snowy kind of hair along with her, like, fur, with gray body. She has a third eye like all the rest of the Zonai do. Very dark, dressed in, like, Zelda doesn't really have a full, like, wizard look, but I want you to think, to pull from something else, a little more pleated and a little bit fancier looking, but, like, if someone took Gale's outfit from Baldur's Gate 3 and made it better,
Okay.
like Met Gala better, that
Okay.
is what Liana is wearing.
And due to your kind of connection with magic and how they've been portrayed a little bit, do you actually like walk around? Do you just kind of like float wherever you go?
She walks.
Okay. And then for your connection, Uh, recently, Liana, you had a problem that you couldn't solve, but one of the other two characters was able to help you out with it. What was that problem? Who helped you solve it, and how did they help you solve it?
Okay, we have a guardian. We have
A rogue.
rogue. Thank you. I believe I needed to find an artifact in a cave that I couldn't necessarily get because there were a lot of monsters. And while I have her magic is mostly war magic, so very much an offensive wizard. But it was a little more than she could handle. And then ran into Durf, and Durf helped with that. Just to make sure that they had a little more backup, I guess.
Okay.
She's been traveling a lot, just kind of looking for other Zonai things to learn more about Arcane, because even though canonically, timeline-wise, this is different, but because most of the other Zonai stopped existing, and it's rare to see one, there's a lot of other stuff, and in canon, there's other reasons because of things in Tears of the Realms that we've discussed. Anyway,
No.
we like learning.
So,
And we're hot.
and just to follow up, what was the artifact that you found?
It was a magical book that I do not actually know how to read, but I'm trying to translate.
Cool.
We think it's magic. I don't know for sure.
Awesome. So, again, all of you met through different methods and things like that, but were eventually able to all get on the same path. And again, you all started hearing these kind of vague rumors of Dueling Peak City having something going wrong, and it involving Bubinga Forest in some way. But that's really all you've got. So today, when you get to Dueling Peak City, the city itself actually sprung up from a trading post and what is it called? Stable. That had been located there and just kind of expanded further and further until you had this. It's a small city, but it's still decent size to have, a few, a little over 1,000 people live there at any given point in time. And it's because of where it's located, it's a nice trading post. Anyone that's coming through the Dueling Peaks will generally stop here for food and lodging and things like that. So as you get to the city, it's relatively early in the morning right now, and the city itself is alive. The various merchants and food vendors especially have kind of ramped up everything that they're doing to get the kind of morning rush out. You can see a few different people kind of walking around with either carts or just trays sometimes of baked goods, trying to kind of sell them as people are going to various places to start their day. What would you all like to do?
I think Liana just wants to just kind of people watch for a little bit and just see the hustle and bustle. And just kind of like look at people and just see what everyone's sort of running around. Just looking.
Sure. Well, I think it's time for us to get some rolling going along.
Okay.
So why don't you make me an instinct check? So the way that checks in general will work in Daggerheart is in general you're going to roll what are called your duality dice, which are just 2d12s. One of them is going to be your hope die, and one of them is going to be your fear die. You roll them, add the numbers together, and then add whatever modifier you have to it, and that's going to be your total. But depending on which one of those dice rolls higher, it will actually modify what happens. If your hope die rolls higher, they call that rolling with hope. And if your fear die is higher, they call that rolling with fear. So if you roll with hope, then something beneficial will be added on to whatever it is. Whether you succeed or fail, there will be some little extra that's nice for you. If you roll with fear, again, whether you succeed or fail, there's going to be some negative, unexpected consequence that is attached to your either success or failure. So, with that being said, Liana, what do we got for our first roll in Daggerheart?
What is... It's a perceive roll?
It's an instinct roll.
So instinct.
Mm-hmm.
So... Technically, it's a 13 with fear, 10 on the fear dice, 2 on the hope dice.
Okay.
Blue dice, fear, gesture dice.
Now,
hope,
one other thing that can happen. Everybody has these things called experiences. Experiences are the equivalent of like a skill system from like D&D. If you ever have a experience, which can be anything from like maybe a job, maybe your experience is like assassin or pirate. They can be just skills that you have, like you're quick-handed or good at reading people, or they can be just like little sentences, like I wander alone. Things like that. If you ever have an experience that you feel might apply to the situation, you can actually spend a hope and use that to add your experience modifier to the roll. So before we decide if this is a success or a failure, do you have an experience that you feel might apply here?
I might have misinterpreted this, so my experiences are magical studies and a magical historian, so I don't... I would probably say no.
Maybe change one of those into something different, since they're both effectively the same thing. You can do that a little bit later.
I might have misunderstood this part. We're gonna say no.
Okay.
And while other people are doing things, I'm going to change one of them to
I mean,
something that might be more useful.
Historian could be like, as a historian, you could be good for like noticing details about things. Like, right, Jody? Is just like,
mm-hmm. Yeah. If you wanna just get rid of the magical part of historian, because magic studies will kind of cover that, and then historian, you understand historical things. Like,
you know
there's
what?
a lot of different situations that would work.
Then that's what we're doing. We're committing to it.
All right, that works for me.
I'm a historian.
So,
take that, Penbridge scholars.
When you roll with fear, we're going to call this a success with fear, because kind of figuring out what's going on, it's not a particularly difficult thing to do. We'll say that was a DC 10 or difficulty 10. But as you are kind of people watching and trying to get a feel for it, what kind of things specifically would you like to learn from this? Like, are you looking for a specific kind of people? Are you trying to get like a feel for just the
vibe check?
Vibe check. Okay, cool. So as you are people watching, you're still kind of like, being in a big city like this is still a little bit alien to you. To give you some backstory here to explain where in the world you came from. Again, the Zonai themselves have kind of disappeared a long time ago. And so for you personally, let's say that you were involved in something like the Shrine of Renewal that is the reason that Link's able to sleep for 100 years. Just to get that full, long rest effect.
Sure.
So you somehow found your way through experimentation or something, found your way into a similar kind of shrine. You awoke into this completely different world than you left, than you fell asleep in. And so the cities that exist here, cities are cities are cities. There's going to be similarities no matter where you are in the world. However, it still feels really weird because the current mortal races that are kind of living through the world are very different than the Zonai empire that Yukika came from. So looking through the city and kind of gauging this, you can tell that there is this sense of unease and distrust amongst people. Like you're seeing, especially with like the bakers going around trying to sell pastries and that, you can see there's quite a few people when they come up to them and like, hey, would you like, and they kind of jump and give them a scare, realize they're not being attacked or anything. You're like, oh no, I'm fine. And you see that reaction a few times. You'll see people kind of bump into each other and immediately get very defensive and then kind of diffuse again. And you're kind of so fixated on this that you don't realize that you have kind of found a small group of people that seem to just not quite fit in with the rest. And you didn't realize that you were just staring blatantly at them for a longer amount of time than is really explainable. And so as you're sitting there, you're trying to figure out what these people are doing. It's just three Hylians that are kind of at a corner, kind of barely leaning out of an alley, because this is still realms adjacent, and so we have to have an alley in here.
We have to have an alley somewhere.
And so, yeah, they were just kind of sitting there. They were kind of talking to each other, and they were kind of people watching just like you. And you make eye contact, and they seem offended. And so the three of them start coming over to you. They're all wearing kind of pretty heavy cloaks, so you can't really see a lot of what they're wearing or even where their hands are. The leader is the shortest of the bunch. And for you being a Zonai already relatively tall, they only come up to about your chest. The other two are a little bit higher, probably an extra head higher. But they definitely seem to be kind of a subordinate position compared to that. And so, and they're all three younger men, maybe late teens, early to 20s.
Okay.
And so the leader comes up and goes, "Oi, what's with you?
Hi.
Why are you staring at us? It's not very polite now, is it?"
Oh, well, apologies. I don't go into, I always like when I come into a city, just kind of watch and see what the vibes are and all of that.
So you're saying that I don't got good vibes? What, you saying
never
people
said
don't
that.
like me?
No, never said that.
I feel insulted.
I apologize.
I think you need to make it up to me.
Uh-huh. I'm assuming the other two are next to me, right?
Yeah, they've kind of not really surrounded you, but they've kind of fanned out to kind of block off paths of retreat.
Liana's somebody who I feel like, while she did genuinely not like really mean any actual harm, because she likes just kind of people watching and all that kind of stuff, when someone's like, I think you need to do something for me, she's like, okay, and who do you think you are, kind of person.
Okay.
And she's like, okay, I apologize for staring at you. I do not feel like that's enough for a recompense of whatever, because I am observing the entire town because I just came in. Not entirely sure if that translates.
Oh, someone's got lots of fancy words. Yeah, she's real big with her fancy words, ain't she, boys? Yeah, boss. Yeah, she's got all those fancy words. Yeah, so you think you're better than us because you got all your fancy words?
Very
Real
well.
quick, Talda, you had something that you wanted to do?
Yeah. While she's taking all the attention and they're looking at her, Talda just kind of steps behind Durf because he has the biggest shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And
I didn't know if I was there or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use Shadow Stepper because I'm a Night Walker and I'm just gone. I'm in an alley.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to go to the alley that they were standing in? Is there a different place that you'd like to go?
I'll go into like an opposite alley.
Okay.
Just so that they're not too familiar with it. And I'm gonna be like spending a few minutes using Uncanny Disguise. I have to mark a stress though for what I did.
Okay. Cool. So, Durf, as you're standing there, you would notice a little bit of motion as Talda kind of steps behind you and then isn't there anymore. Liana,
His helm goes.
Liana, you're a little bit too fixated on these three people who are starting to become more aggressive, and they're starting to kind of position themselves to kind of cut you off from Durf, and are trying to kind of back you into a wall.
Oh, can I intercede on that? Because I don't think Durf being he's one of the experiences as former bodyguard. I think one of the things he's gonna full on his shield's always out, but like he unhooks his mace. He just has it aside. He just walks up in front of the guy that's talking smack.
Okay.
So I don't know how tall Durf is a giant.
Oh yeah, none of the even the taller ones, they're only about a head taller than the lead. So they're still technically slightly shorter than Liana, and you're taller than Liana.
Durf is just.
So I'm
and he
gonna
just
have you
puts his mace
me...
on his shoulder.
I'll let. Yeah, we'll call this a presence check. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a presence check to see how well you do this.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, to kind of explain how everything works, Daggerheart uses a system that I refer to as the spotlight system. Basically, the kind of center of attention, the person that's kind of doing something, is said to have the spotlight. And the spotlight will kind of shift and move depending on how the story needs to go. But the things that tend to be big changes is anytime somebody either rolls with fear or fails a roll, the spotlight is instantly shifted to the game master, and I get to do what's called a GM move, which can be activating an NPC. It can be just making something happen to challenge the players. But yeah, every time these guys either roll with fear or fail a roll, instantly I get to react to that. And then in addition to that, I have a resource called Fear, that anytime I want to, I can just spend a fear to instantly take the spotlight and make a GM move. So that being said, what do we have for your presence roll, Durf?
Presence? I just decided just to roll.
Or not
without
presence,
anything.
sorry. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, she said presence.
All right. Sorry, I'm still learning the traits.
That's right, but it's like presence that falls under charm, perform, deceive. I'm presuming also that's like intimidating.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 15 with hope.
All right. So anytime the players roll with hope, they can actually add a hope point to their character sheet, which is one of the limited resources they can use for a lot of different things. And something slightly beneficial should happen as well. So as you come over and you kind of start loosening your mace and kind of bring your shield to bear, all three of them instantly kind of turn towards you. And have you ever heard the term like small dog syndrome? Like, you could definitely kind of see that as soon as you show any sort of resistance to what he's doing, this little guy, I was like, oh, what? You want to talk with me now? Oh, you don't know what you've just messed with. I'm going to take you and I'm going to teach you how to respect your betters. And as he's saying that, you suddenly hear a voice from further down the street. It's a feminine voice, and they go, Lysander, are you picking fights again? I told you, I am not. Just call me Lie. Lysander, you get over here this instant. I told you to not be upsetting people on the street. You still have to muck out the stables. But Mom, I was being rude, and you're being rude to me right now, so you're going to get into the stables right now, and you're going to muck them out, or I am going to ground you for a week. And you just watch him kind of deflate.
Durf is holding his mace up on his shoulder, but now he just like, and he's like, he just rips, and he's holding his mace, he just goes.
You could see like his face gets red, and then he looks back towards his mother, and he kind of wanders off with the two boys that were following him, just go off with him.
I step out of the alley back to them, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't have to do anything else.
That's
Good.
fair. Well, that was interesting. That was a twist I did not see coming, but it's what it is.
So, again, back to your kind of previous read, there's obviously some sort of tension in the city itself, and people seem to be kind of more worried about conflict in general. Like, even during that confrontation, now that it's over, you can see that there were some people that were kind of watching, obviously in fear, waiting for something big to happen. And this was just, it was some punk kids harassing someone on the street. It's not that big a deal. The reaction that you guys are getting to it seems much more serious than it should be. The entire town seems to react to conflict in a very defensive way. With that, what would y'all like to do?
Durf takes out his notepad. Scribble. 2 tenths.
Okay. I will motion to kind of lead the way, and then we'll kind of follow up behind.
Lead the way where?
To the 2 tenths?
I said 2
assume?
tenths as in he said tenths as in TENSE. As in
Oh.
2 tenths.
Fair. I didn't read that correctly. Look, sorry, I'm a little zoned.
I actually really enjoy the idea. Like let's play it up. You go 2 tenths, and just due to dyslexia or whatever you want to call it, you read it as 2 tenths. You go, oh, that sounds like a great place. Where is it?
Oh! See, the problem is her knowledge is +2. I should have done that better. It's fine. Yeah, it seems a lot. Let's, I guess, go in deeper into town and see if we can figure out what the heck's going on.
Okay.
Scribble. Bar plus job, ?
Yeah. Also, people
Sounds
will
like a
talk there.
plan.
We start walking and getting into town.
As you guys are kind of wandering around, again, the town itself, people are going around. There's still that overall tension, and eventually you see a relatively large building near this is the center of town. It's remarkably enough called the 2 Tents. And this is the original kind of inn and stable that kind of was the genesis of this town itself. And you do notice that it is packed, like almost to the point of like worrying about fire codes packed. However, as you kind of come to the door and you kind of step in, a packed inn you would expect to be kind of rowdy and, all this noise and stuff. It is remarkably quiet. It's not like dead silent or anything like that, but the people that are in here, a lot of them are kind of keeping to themselves. The few conversations that are happening are happening through hushed voices and things like that. It feels like closer to a wake than it does a thriving, busy restaurant. But you can see a small booth in the corner that seems open.
Okay, the vibe hasn't gotten much better. I guess let's just have a seat.
Okay. As you sit down, this slightly rotund woman comes around with some menus and goes, "Oh, it's so great to see y'all here. My name is Norma. What can I get ya?"
Let's just get some ale to start, and look at some of the menu stuff. This seems to be a lot of people, but the vibe is very interesting. Is there something happening?
"Oh, well, don't you know everybody's just so worried about the stuff that's going on now."
Okay, can you elaborate further?
"Well, yeah, because like every night there's like these strange noises that are coming out of the forest, and it just gets everybody kind of on edge. And then those people just like, they came and then they weren't there no more. It makes you think a lot."
Oh. Okay. Fascinating. It happens every night?
I mean, oh, what's that? Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, I gotta go help the other tables, but I'll be back, don't you know? And she kind of wanders off.
Woods at night, huh? That sounds like a lead. What do y'all think? Looks at both of them.
This is great content, having two characters that are almost nonverbal.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean,
He shrugs his shoulders. He's like, it scribbles out again. Good as any.
All right. Why don't we at least get the ale? And then we just make our way out. There was only one clear forest, right?
I mean, there's little bits of forest everywhere, but there's a larger forest, which is again referred to as the Bubinga forest to the east.
It's probably the best place to go through that.
I agree with that.
All right. So, as she comes around, she brings you out. So, did you guys have anything that you wanted to eat, or is it just going to be the ale for today?
I think it'll be the ale, thank you. And gives a couple coins.
Okay. Money in Daggerheart is actually treated kind of interestingly as well. And I have to remember what it's called. Hold police.
I mean, it says, I just see handfuls.
Yeah, so it's measured in handfuls, bags, and chests. And technically, you could subdivide handfuls into coins as well. So just a couple of ale is not enough to cost a full handful of gold. So you can just use a few coins and keep the... I think all of you should have at least one handful of gold.
Yep.
Or rupees, or in Zelda.
Or yeah, a handful of rupees. So
This is back to the game one of campaign one, where someone just drops like 100 rupee or something.
So you give.
Wasn't that me?
No, I think it
kinda
was
had-
Aaliyah.
You kind of
Oh,
hand
that might have been
over
Zolta, yeah.
a blue rupee and just figure that pays for every fifth thing and leaves a nice tip because you should always tip.
Yep.
Your wait staff.
Yep.
20%. You move digit over, you double it. It's not that hard.
Yup.
All right. So that being said, is there anything that you guys want to do before leaving town? Pick up any supplies or anything? Or are you just ready to head out into the weeds?
I think we send the heck out of this.
The other two? You?
Yeah.
Think is there now? People are just disappearing. Is the general consensus in the middle of the night?
That is the only information you have heard. If you would like to ask other people to get more information, you could.
I
Durf is
feel
just going to get
like-
up. He's going to go over to the barkeep.
Okay. The barkeep is this larger man, very kind of top heavy with like really big kind of bulbous arms, but not really muscular, just like there. And he looks at you and goes, "What do you want?"
Scribble. People missing nighttime? Moon? Question mark.
Yeah, and if you guys don't want to go missing, you don't go out at the night.
Not smart. Look for trouble. Adventurers. Underline.
Oh, you're one of those people. You know, there's all these people come out, they call themselves adventurers, and then they go...
Scribble. Gig economy.
They
Damn.
go out and they try and do this stuff, and they don't realize there's so much more dangerous stuff out there that they know. I get it. We no longer have to worry about guardians waking up and blowing up houses and things like that. But it doesn't mean it's safe out there. The last group of adventurers came in, and they had so punchable faces. I wanted so bad to just slap them, because they came in and they're always smiling. And they just had this sick smile the entire time. Kept talking about the truth and the knowledge. And they were going to save the world. Who says that kind of stuff, right? That was the last I ever heard of them. They went into Babinga Forest and never came back. Good riddance to them, I say. Always staring at you, smiling, acting like they know something.
Points direction to forest.
Yeah, that direction. Really, they just... You ever had a conversation with someone where you know that you're talking to each other, but you're having two completely different conversations? Yo, you're easy to talk to. All right, did you want something to drink or something? I got work to do. I got glasses to continually wipe, despite the fact that the towel I'm using looks dirtier than anything.
He offered. He's doing anachronistic cleaning the glass. That's just
Yeah.
he never uses. Is like he drops it like Durf gives like a couple of very small rupees, just like, hey, thanks, and then turns around.
Pulls them off, goes back to cleaning the same glass over and over again.
Goes back over to the group. Just scribble. Forest.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
All right. So, as you all head out into this forest, the first thing that you notice is it takes you a few hours to actually get to the forest proper. And the closer you get, you start feeling the wind pick up a little bit, like you'll get a little bit more breezes. But compared to like in the town where a breeze would kind of hit you, it is one of those kind of warm summer breezes where the air goes past and it's relaxing but invigorating at the same time. Kind of warms you and inspires you. The closer you get to the forest, though, the wind starts feeling colder. It starts feeling like it actually goes through your armor directly down to your bones. You start feeling little chills down your spine as you look into the forest itself, as the trees become thicker and thicker. The sunlight hasn't changed. There's been no cloud cover or something. But for whatever reason, it feels darker. The colors themselves start feeling more muted. The greens are not quite as green. The browns of the bark look old and faded. What would y'all like to do?
Durf is kind of feeling a little bit at home in the spooky ambiance. Kind of reminds him his before he left the dungeon.
I want to look through and do a little bit of perceiving.
Durf is looking for trouble because he's kind of like, that's why we're here.
Yeah, I want to see if there's any like markings or signs of like stress or duress or anything.
All right, absolutely. Give me a couple seconds, because another super cool feature of Daggerheart is they have this thing called environments, where the actual place that you're at has its own stat block.
Oh.
And can have things that happen. So let's start off with an yeah, go ahead and make me an instinct roll, Liara. Or Liana, sorry.
Can Durf also make that, since he's looking for trouble? Waiting for her, of course.
We want to kind of resolve things sequentially.
Okay.
So since she spoke first, I'm going to have her do it, and then
we were. For a moment, I thought I crit. I did not crit, but it's a 16 with hope.
16 with hope, cool.
That means I gain a hope, right?
Say again?
That means I gain a hope because I succeeded?
Yep. Anytime. You don't actually have to succeed. Anytime you roll with hope, you gain a hope. So even if you fail, you will still gain a hope. It's just the failure effect will also happen.
And remember, in Daggerheart, you can crit just by rolling the same number twice.
Right, which I was really close. I had a 6 on the fear die, and I'm like, I had to like take a minute to look at being like, are they this? And they're not. Damn it.
So, just to explain a little better to those of us watching, crits happen when you roll doubles on your duality dice, except if you roll double ones. That's considered a fumble, and bad things happen. Then.
But any other number, a double is good, regardless of how low.
Yeah. If you ever do crit, in addition to it being treated as a success with hope, you can also remove one marked hit point and remove one marked stress.
I think you get a hope too.
Yeah, because it's a success with hope. So you get a hope, and then you can also effectively heal yourself as well. So very cool and interesting. So looking around, it takes a little bit of time for you to realize the place that you've kind of come to as you're kind of like examining what's going on. The places you come to, you start to realize that a battle has been fought here. You don't notice it at first because the signs of the battle are kind of hidden by brush and shrubs and growth and things like that. But as you look more, you can see a broken weapon here, a skirmish over here, cut branches over here. You start realizing someone had a fight here. And it seems relatively obvious once you start looking. In addition to that, you can see what just kind of looks like a stump at first, but as you get closer, you realize that this isn't just an ordinary tree. You've heard rumors that some of the trees have started getting up and moving, and this seems to kind of confirm that theory, because this particular tree is not rooted in the ground the way it should. It actually looks like it kind of walked over here and then was damaged and killed, for lack of a better term, and you're looking at its kind of dismembered corpse. And the other thing that you notice is as you look around, the trees themselves here seem different for some odd reason. It's subtle at first, but as you look around, you can see they almost look like they've been twisted and corrupted by something. And I'm going to go ahead and burn a fear here. As you are kind of looking at this, and the rest of you are kind of keeping your eye out, suddenly the ground near Liana explodes, and these spiked vines kind of shoot out and just kind of whip around quickly. I need everyone to make me an agility reaction roll, which is just a agility check done in reaction to something. And what I'm going to do, because Durf, you mentioned that you're kind of keeping your eye out for danger, I'm going to go ahead and give you advantage on that roll.
Oh, okay.
The way advantage works in Daggerheart is you roll a d6 and you add that d6 to the result of your roll.
And the character sheet will show that when you click it.
And disadvantage works the same way, except you subtract it. So let's start with Talda this time. What do you got for your agility?
Well, I'm gonna mark a stress because I am an elf and I have quick reactions, and I'll get advantage on this too.
Cool.
So, do I add anything to this?
You would add your agility modifier to it.
So that you were talking about crits earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 29. It's a crit. I rolled
God
2 11s.
2 11s.
Bro!
Wow. Okay. So I will deal with that crit in a second, but go ahead and recover a stress and take a hope point.
All right.
I have to look to see if this has a miss effect or not. Yeah, you just don't. You just aren't affected by it. So we will narrate that in a second. I want to see what the other two people did. So let's do Durf. How'd you do?
Durf, you can see in roll 20. Durf also crit, and he got a 23.
Cool. So both Durf and
So we got
Talda are just completely unfazed by it. Liana.
I think it's like because Durf
I
is
did-
like not his first rodeo. He started out in a dungeon. He's just like, oh, this is when I come. Like, oh, step back.
Mine looks pathetic by comparison. It is a 14 with fear.
Okay.
Or not with
So-
fear, with hope.
With
Sorry.
hope. Okay. So
14
still,
with hope, plus 0, no crit. It was an 11 and a 3.
Still, we're all rolling with hope. So don't forget to mark hope down in your character sheets.
Right.
So as these things kind of explode out, Durf, because you were almost expecting this, you immediately step forward and bring your shield up as Liana seems just to slightly just hesitate for a brief moment, and you come up and just kind of slam the vines away. Liana, you kind of step back and step into Durf's shadow and kind of prepare yourself for anything else that's going to go on. Talda, as the vines kind of explode out, you immediately jump back and kind of fade into the shadows and prepare yourself for whatever danger is about to happen. As the dust kind of settles, you can see the vines just kind of lying on the ground there. For a moment, nothing happens, but then suddenly, the vines start slowly getting up, and they start to kind of coil themselves into a shape akin to a snake. And as they do, you start watching some of the shrubs start to kind of pull themselves out of the ground, and 6 of them start marching towards you. And at a far range, you watch as one of the shrubs pops up, and there's this strange octopus-like creature that seems to be staring at you very intently. And now we're going to shift into combat. So, combat in Daggerheart works very similar to everything else. We still use this spotlight system. You guys kind of decide who makes the most sense to have the spotlight first, and then you basically just describe what it is that you want to do, and we just narrate our way through the combat. There's no initiative, there's no turn order or rounds or anything like that. It's really wherever the story takes us. So, due to the fact that both Durf and Talda got crits on this most recent thing, I think it would make sense for one of you two to probably act first here. So, which one of you wants to kind of start off this combat?
If I could ask, Talda, would your character benefit if Durf stepped up first? That way it would tee you up for rogue ability stuff, shenanigans? Or do you want to go first for rogue shenanigans?
Go first for rogue shenanigans if you don't mind.
Ask
so,
answered.
The first thing that Talda does is, because I have 3 hope, why not? I'm gonna activate Rogue's Dodge. So until I get hit, I get 2 extra evasion.
Okay.
Good lord, what's your evasion now?
15. And then I step behind. I'm just gonna step behind a tree, Jody. And I will night walk again, just using that point of stress I just healed.
All right. Hold on just a second for me to. Is it the right step?
Grab a die.
Really? That's what you're going to do? I don't want you to do that.
Yeah, there we go.
Alright, sorry about that. So you've activated your evasion thing, and now you're stepping back to Shadow Step. Where did you want to Shadow Step to?
Because the Shadow Step goes into far range, I Shadow Step into the shadow of the octopus thing,
Okay.
and I'm going to stab it in the back. Nothing personal, kid style.
Gotcha. So, you guys watch as Talda, after the vines had come up, had kind of like stepped back and pulled. What do you use for a weapon again, Talda?
My main weapon is a dagger.
Dagger. So she had pulled a dagger out and then slowly kind of step back and then, and suddenly you can see far away the shadows kind of materialize. And since you guys are in a pretty thick forest, everywhere is kind of low light and shadows. And so she just kind of appears and suddenly attempts to plunge it in. Go ahead and make your attack roll with
So,
your
one of my one of my experiences is assassin, so may I add that bonus?
I don't think experiences are meant to apply to combat. I'm gonna, before I say the wrong thing, I'm going to
I have no idea.
Let's go to the corner tab. Again, we are 100%. All right, so we're 100% new to this, so I'm still kind of learning. Let me go to the index real quick. And look specifically for experiences. See if I have any more guidance. Generally, my ruling is going to be that there's enough stuff that you do in combat that you don't also need to add your experiences, because otherwise.
It does say outside of combat, experience outside of combat towards the end of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14 with hope.
Okay. Cool. Well, 14 is enough for it, so go ahead and roll the damage.
Because after I shadow step, I'm cloaked, I do get my sneak attack.
Cool.
So that's 9 damage. Or 9 on the damage roll.
Okay, so the thresholds for this monster are 4 and 8. So that counts as a severe strike, which actually one-shots this creature.
God damn.
So, again, you guys watch as Talda kind of fades into the distance, immediately appears behind them, though you have a hard time seeing her clearly because she seems to kind of shimmer and the light seems to kind of not directly bounce off her. And then suddenly you hear this sound of metal going through Jello because of the Octorok. And you watch as the Octorok kind of and just kind of melts and pops almost, is deflated there.
In Durf's head, he sees this little Sheikah run across, be incredibly deadly real quick, and in his head goes, like this little question mark appears over his head, is in his mental image, he suddenly imagines Kestrel.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's kind of wondering like...
With that happening, I am actually going to burn a fear to instantly activate one of the groups, and I'm actually going to activate all of the little shrub creatures, who unfortunately are not close enough to do anything to Talda, but they are close enough. I think I'll do it this way. Liana, choose even or odd.
Odd.
All right. Durf, all 6 of them are going to converge on you. So they get one shared attack roll.
Hey, I have a super low evasion. I am made of metal.
I can't move my camera, so I'm not going to. But the number I rolled is 1. So the way that the little shrub things are what are called minions. They're designed
Banana.
to kind of swarm, and then as you attack them, if you roll, they don't have a damage threshold. They die for 1 hit, but the higher you roll, the more minions you kill at the same time. And this particular ability allows them to basically all attack at once against a single target. And you want to know how much they did? Absolutely nothing, because due to their attack being a -2, I rolled a -1.
Nice.
I rolled less than 0, folks.
So Durf is in there like pink, 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 pink.
Congratulations.
I am going to burn another fear to activate one of these snakes. And they are... helps if I click on the right thing. They are also going to try and make an attack against Liana this time, since Durf is surrounded by all these little shrubs.
Just to say, good fight music.
So this is what, against my evasion?
Actually, they're going to mark a stress. The first one's going to mark a stress. And they're actually going to make an attack against both Durf and Liana. So they kind of spin around, and the kind of spiky thorns on them start trying to hit all of you. So that's a nat 20.
If I can, I'll activate an ability.
Okay.
I am your shield. When an ally within very close range would take damage,
Okay.
you can mark a stress to stand in the way and make yourself the target of the attack instead. I don't know how it works. You said they're targeting both of us, so I don't know if that would work.
Or that was an attack roll?
Yes.
Are you? What are you? Is this? Do you consider? How close are they?
They're very close.
So I have something called Not This Time,
Okay.
which is within far range.
Yep. So this
Which
is
this would
very
be?
close is within far range. So
Great.
ranges,
I'm gonna burn 3 hope
Okay.
and use Not This Time. I'm gonna need you to re-roll that nat 20.
Okay. So
Okay.
to kind of explain for people watching, ranges in Daggerheart are a little bit more abstract. You have melee, which is right next to someone, very close, which is within around 10 feet, close within around 30-ish feet, far within around 100-ish feet, and then very far is basically anything further than that. So I need to re-roll, right? That's how it works?
Yes, you do.
Cool.
Nothing Jody loves more than being denied a crit.
Well, this one's a little bit better. So this turns it into a 10, and that would go against your evasion.
Within 11. Nah.
Okay, and I know it doesn't do that. So because that happened, Durf, you no longer need
I don't
use
need to,
that
yeah.
capability. Had
Nope.
you used it for future reference, the way I would have viewed that is you would just have to take the damage. It would count as you being hit 2 different times by the same
Sure.
damage. Yeah, that was very, very cool. I have 1 point of fear left, so I'm not going to spend the last of it. Who would like to react next?
Well, I think it's my turn next because
There's no turn
Talda
order.
went. Well, okay. Well, can you say-
Anyone that feels like, okay, after that happened, like, to give you an example,
Yeah.
what effectively just happened was this creature started to kind of whirl, and Liana, seeing that this is going to end poorly, you watch as Liana kind of starts twisting the fate of reality. Suddenly everything stops for a moment, and you could have sworn that that thing hit you really hard. But then as time starts going again, suddenly it's aiming at a completely different area, and it doesn't hit you at all. And Liana just kind of stands back, looking a little bit smug. Liana, what weapon do you use?
I use a great staff.
Great staff. So she's just kind of leaning on her staff there and kind of brushing that off. So because of that, Durf, you might react to the fact that time just stopped to decide I'm going to do something about this. Or at the same time, Liana might go, well, since I just used this to stop time, I'm going to instantly react and cast a fireball or something. It's all whatever feels most natural.
Well, I was thinking that because of the crit both Talda and I had, and we were kind of debating who was going to go first. Mm-hmm. So
I will let you move first.
Okay. Well, I think it's pretty much already. So they're pretty much already up on us, right?
Yeah. The snakes. For you, the shrubs are all within melee range, and both snakes are very close to both you and Liana.
Okay. And as a giant, I have reach, so melee gets turned into very close too. So pretty much for Durf, everything's very close for him.
And when you take an action, which Daggerheart in and of itself is what I refer to as a single action economy, where everything is just done as a move. When you make a move, part of that move can be moving up to close range. So if you wanted to make an attack and move, I would consider that just one move. If you wanted to move farther than close, that takes its own separate move. Like with what I almost said Argenta, wrong character. With what Talda did, technically the Shadow Step in and of itself was its own kind of move, and then the attack was a continuation.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but they're already all up on us. So as a Guardian, I'm going to activate my class feature, Unstoppable.
Okay.
Once per long rest, you become unstoppable. You gain an unstoppable die, which I already got. At level 1, your unstoppable die is a d4. I'll skip through this. After you make a damage roll that deals 1 or more hit damage points, increase the unstoppable die by 1 when the die's value would exceed its maximum value, or when the scene ends, remove the die and drop out of unstoppable. While I'm unstoppable, I can reduce the severity or physical damage I take by 1 threshold. I add the current value of the unstoppable die to my damage roll, and I can't be restrained or vulnerable.
Cool.
So I'm activating that for become unstoppable.
So you guys watch as the kind of small pinpricks of blue light that are Durf's eyes
smack my shield.
Blaze with like a fiery rage. Is that all you want to do, or did you want to?
Well, that was a class feature. So then I'm gonna go up there, and the first I'm just gonna swing big, and do I swing on the minions? And if I swing on one, depend on how much damage I do, I take them all out.
The way that minions work is if they take any damage at all, they're instantly gone. And depending on how much damage you do, they have a threshold. For each amount over that, you kill an additional minion. Whereas regular creatures, it's kind of like normal combat. You attack them, you do damage, they take hit point damage based on their thresholds. Does that make sense?
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't know if I do a swing, I think there's an ability for swinging, but I don't think I have that yet.
Yeah. No, with minions in general, they all act as their own unit, but because you can't hit them at a higher threshold, there's just you kill multiples if you roll enough damage. So it's still worth it to do a high damaging attack against a minion.
Okay. Then I'll just start clear cutting the minions, get them out of the way. That way, do big damage, swing big, get the tension on me instead of my other patriots.
All right, go for it.
I'll swing them with my mace. Just want to make sure if I have anything else to activate. I don't think I do for that, so it's all pretty much all set up. Swinging. Got 12 with fear.
With fear. Okay, so the difficulty for the shrubs.
And I
is only
believe
a 10.
So that adds +1. So that actually Oh, sorry. That's to hit. That's not the damage.
Yeah. So the difficulty for the shrubs is just a 10. So you do hit. We will deal with the fear effect in a second here, but it does mean that I get to add a fear
Yep.
to my pool. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. That's 6, and plus my unstoppable, so that makes it 7.
So okay. So
Oh, maybe that's
The
what the
hit-
plus was I could have added. Okay.
the hit point threshold for this particular minion is 5. So because you rolled 7, you're able to get rid of two of them. So you guys watch as Durf kind of brings up his, and we're gonna leave it as a mace. Or did you want to flavor that to a sword or something else?
I took a mace. I can make it a big sword if
That's
you
fine.
want.
It's up to you. How do you see the character? What weapon? Do you see the character
I
with?
pictured him carrying a big ass sword.
Okay, so yeah, you guys see him kind of take this sword that seems far too large to hold in one hand, but with his just great size, Durf is able to kind of pick it up, and he takes this swing and he bisects 2 of the 6 shrubs that have all been around him, and they just completely kind of dissolve. However, since you rolled with fear, I now get to activate a creature. And I'm going to activate the other snake that hasn't done anything. They're going to burn a stress, and I am going to have them go ahead and attack both of you two again. And that's going to be a 21 total.
To hit both of us, or just one of them? Just
It's
me?
one attack roll against both of you.
Okay.
So both Liana and Durf. Does a 21 beat your evasion?
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is
Okay.
10 over.
So I'm going to go out and roll the damage, and then we can talk about how this is all going to work. So it's a total of 4 damage. So you guys have a choice here. 4 damage I'm going to guarantee is going to be lower than your major threshold. So if you take the damage, because it's in your minor threshold, you would take a single hit point of damage. If you would like, you can burn an armor slot. You can mark an armor slot from your armor, and that will reduce the
I think you're
damage
quoting
you
my
take.
"I am your shield." That's my ability I was going to use.
Well, let me explain how damage
Okay, yeah.
works first, and then we can deal with other things. So, the way that armor works is you can mark an armor slot, and it will actually reduce the level of damage by 1 threshold. So in this particular case, if you were to mark an armor slot, you actually wouldn't take any hit point damage. So the choice is up to you guys. Do you want to mark a single hit point, or do you want to mark one of your armor? In order to regain armor slots or hit points, those are things that you have to do during a rest. So, yeah. Now, with that said, the Guardian does have an ability that can modify other things. So, did you want to use that ability?
Yeah, I was going to use that ability. That way, no one has to take off anything. And if I'm taking damage, we can play that out. Because well, first of all, I'll just say I'll do that for Liana.
So I have to look at the ability itself. So it's I am your
Yeah.
shield.
Do you need me to? do I click it and it'll show up?
Hold. I'm looking at it. Let me read it
Okay.
real quick.
I was going to see if you want me to post it.
Okay, so the way that I am your shield works is when an ally within very close range would take damage, you can mark a stress, send away, make yourself the target of the attack instead. I'm going to treat it the same way as before. It means that you would basically get 2 attacks. Each one of those attacks, because they're separate attacks, you could burn a single armor slot without the extra armor slots you would need for I am your shield. But that means that Liana, you're not going to take any damage, and it's up to you, Durf, to decide if you want to burn any armor slots or if you just want to take the 4 damage twice, which would translate to 2 hit points of damage. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So because I just want to make sure also because it's 4 hit points.
It's not 4 hit points. It's 4 damage.
4 damage.
Which should be in your minor damage threshold. So
my minor damage is 10.
Yeah, so it's under 10, so that means it's in your minor damage threshold. So it means that because you're getting hit by 2 attacks, each one of them is calculated separately. So each one of them would technically be minor damage, which is 1 hit point each. So either you can burn no armor slots and take 2 hit points of damage, or because each one is a different attack, you can burn an armor slot for each one and reduce it to nothing. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I just want to make sure because I mark a stress.
Yep. To do this, you mark a stress.
Yeah. Yes.
So now you're getting hit twice.
Yeah.
And you have to decide how you want to deal that. So you're going to burn. You're going to mark 2 armor slots and reduce
marking off
0.
2 armor slots.
So again, the creature kind of whips its tail around and.
Sorry, where do I mark off stress? I want to make sure.
Stress.
There it is. There it is.
It's right under your hit points.
There you go.
Okay. So the vine snake kind of twists around and attacks, and you watch as Durf kind of steps forward and brings his shield up and blocks everything. And with that,
like an old truck getting hit by hail. That'll buffer right out.
Yeah,
Very nice.
That's gonna be it. And I'm gonna save my fear for right now. So goes back to the players who wants to have this spotlight.
I would like to. I'm gonna make. I'm gonna use something called Wild Flame, so I can make a spellcast roll against up to 3 adversaries within melee range, which I believe there are 3 adversaries within melee range.
Technically, the minions would be in melee range. The snakes are technically right now in very close, but you can move to get them in melee range.
I will move to get them in melee range as well.
Cool. Works for me.
Because I want to hit as many as I can.
All right.
So I need to make a spellcast roll. That is using the duality, correct?
All of your rolls are going to involve, if they're not damage rolls, they're going to be duality rolls. Spellcast just means on your subclass card, it will tell you what your spellcasting trait is. So a spellcasting roll just means use your spellcasting trait, which I believe for the wizard is knowledge.
That is correct. It's a +2. I need to take a stress for this. So it's a 17 with fear.
Okay.
Because
the attack succeeds.
Great.
And because there's only 2 snakes, I'm assuming you also want to target one of the shrubs as well. Since you can
that is correct.
3. Cool.
Yeah.
Then go ahead and just roll 1 damage for all of them. Because it just makes it easier that way. You roll 1 attack roll for everything.
Yeah, it's gonna and then 1 damage roll for everything. So that'll be, because it's 2d6 magic damage, that is 9 points of magic damage.
Okay.
And I've marked a stress. As flames are up from my hand.
So, because of the shrubs overwhelm mechanic, you take out 2 shrubs, and then for the snakes, for the snakes, that counts as a medium threshold, whatever that is, major threshold. So they each take 2 hit points of damage. However, they have a feature on a successful attack within melee range, which your spell casting counts as an attack. The attacker must mark an armor slot without receiving its benefit. So you have just burned 2 of your armor slots. As you get close enough and you start, how do you kind of envision doing this particular spell? Do you see it as like making a wave? Do you see it conjuring a flame sword and attacking with it? How do you envision that?
Because of the wording of it, it was going to be straight up a third eye opens, hand comes out, fire.
Cool. So you guys watch as Liana moves forward, and you watch as her third eye opens up with this flame kind of radiating it from it, and she puts her hand out, and you just see this kind of flamethrower effect. She goes, and as she does that, she gets a little bit too close to this. This is the snakes who, as they're kind of writhing from all of this flame, kind of go out, and you watch as her armor is scratched and pierced really badly. Doesn't look like it hit her underneath at all, but the armor itself looks like it's taken a bit of rough.
So I take 2 armor slots because I hit both of them? That's... Goddamn.
In melee.
I know. It's still a lot. But
And
okay.
then, because of you rolling with fear, I'm going to take a fear, and then I'm also going to activate the last few of these shrubs. After seeing 2 of their members just get burned, and they really don't like fire, they're both going to try to attack Liana with their -2 to attack.
I am hurt, but I understand. Oh, no.
Well, I rolled twice as well as I did for the last attack.
2! Yeah!
So that's a 0.
Woo!
So again, these shrubs kind of come up to you, and you think they're trying to attack you, but they can't get past... Like, what clothing do you see yourself... Like, you technically have leather armor, but you can describe the design. Your leather armor might be, like, magic shields that you have or whatever. How do you... Like, what you... I can't remember what you said as far as clothing. It was, like...
Think Gale's outfit, but, like, more couture.
Okay. So, yeah, the Met Gala version of Gale. And so as they come up to your... we lost... hopefully Chris will be back soon. Yeah, things will look slightly strange for a second here while we only have half of Liana. As they come up and they're trying to attack you, your robe is remarkably well made. Welcome back, Chris. Your robe is remarkably well made, so they can't get through the very fine stitching or anything. They're just like, nyah, 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 nyah. I'm going to burn a fear.
This is why backstitching is important.
And that, yeah, I'm going to burn a fear in order to activate one of the snakes that you just hit. And again, they're going to burn another stress to make it attack against both of you. That brings it up to a 10! Just ignore them. They're kind of cuddling together.
Yeah.
It's impressive how... Because this, for anyone that doesn't know...
Hitting both of us?
For a 10, it doesn't hit either of you.
Evasion?
10 versus... What is your evasion?
My evasion's a 7.
Your evasion's a 7?
I'm made of metal! I'm a giant friggin' wall!
I guess I've been wrong. I should have hit you the last time. So yeah, it will hit you.
Well, one time you just biffed it completely,
Well, yeah.
and that's the reason why I did miss.
Yeah, you'll take 4 points of damage from it. Cool. So my snake actually does something. That's nice.
Okay, so because it's minor damage, so it's 1 hit point.
Yep, 1 hit point. Yep.
I'll go ahead and take a 1 hit point.
All right.
Yeah, I'm easy to hit. I'm just you got to get through my armor, and then I have hit points.
Okay, cool. So it shifts back to you guys. Who wants the spotlight next?
Can I have the spotlight?
Go for it.
All right. So as I'm just like back here with Octorok, I pull out my secondary weapon,
Okay.
which is like this hook on a chain. They just call it a grappler here.
Okay.
And I'll run. If I'm far and I go up 1, I'm close, right?
Sure. Yeah, you'd be within close. Yeah. We'll say that works.
So then I launch out the grappler to one of the snakes because they'll be in close.
Okay. So that's still going to be uh, a roll using.
Yeah.
I think, does it tell you which stat to use for it? I think
Yeah,
it's like agility or
it's
precision.
agility.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and make yours, and if you succeed, you'll yank it towards you, but I don't think it does any damage, right?
No, it does damage.
It does do damage as well?
Yeah. 13 with fear.
Okay. All polys. That is such a cool ability. Okay. So I'm sorry, what was the total again?
13 with fear.
So 13 is actually not enough, so that's a failure with fear.
All right.
So as you swing it around and you go to kind of grip it, the grappling. How do you? I mean, this is Legend of Zelda. Do you see it as kind of a hookshot-esque thing? I mean, technically, in our world, a hookshot is intellectual property of Kess Enterprises, but do you want it to be a hookshot?
I'm a Sheikah. Yeah, it's a hook shot.
Okay, cool. So you sit there and as it attempts to get it, it misses just slightly and kind of ding, and it comes back off. Unfortunately, that means I get a fear. And I get to take a turn. And the one that you just attempted to grip or grapple is going to rush over to you and just try to attack you with its viney body. Well, that gives me I'm rolling 8s over and over again, so that's a 10 total.
Nope.
Okay, so it comes forward and it kind of lashes at you with its viney body, and you're able to kind of dodge out of the way. Going to burn a fear to make the other snake try and make an attack against Durf again. So that's a 13 against you, Durf.
If that's my vision, yeah, you beat me.
Yep. Everything is going to be against your evasion for attack rolls. And so that turns into 5 points of physical damage. And then I'm going to burn another
Okay, so that's 5. So again, we're back to 1 HP.
Yep.
For taking it. Okay.
And those darn little minions, they are gonna try and they're gonna go after Durf again because they failed so spectacularly against Liana.
Doing my job.
A 4.
That misses. Again, it's like watermelon seeds. There's
They're sitting there and they're like they're not even able to kind of like damage the finish of your armor. Like they're trying, and it's like the cats that are like.
It's really insulting. He's not even acknowledging them. He's just like.
Spotlight returns to the party. Who would like to take the spotlight?
I can make a thing. Who is currently within melee range that are not the snakes?
You can get within melee of the shrubs or a snake. The only things left, there are 2 snakes and 2 shrubs. So one of the shrubs is playing with Talda. The other one is right next to you. And then the 2 shrubs are playing with Durf.
Screw it. We're gonna go up with a snake. I'm gonna lose an armor slot for this, but that's fine. If this hits. I'm gonna use something called Power Push. So I need to make a spellcast roll against them. If I succeed, they are knocked back to far range and take 1d10 plus 2 damage.
Go for it. So you watch as Liana starts conjuring energy in her hands and starts to form it into this ball. that she's about to release against this creature.
This is gonna be a 13 with fear. 6 was the highest roll.
Okay, so 13 is not enough to beat it, so it's a failure with fear. It does mean you don't get armor shredded.
No, but this means that something worse is gonna happen.
Well, I'm gonna take a fear because I enjoy having fear. It's a fun, for as long as I've had to deal with my anxiety, just always being a negative. It's nice that fear is actually being useful for me. So you guys watch as Liana comes forward and kind of does this kind of Hadoken thing, and it just misses completely. And the snake that she just targeted is going to whip around and attempt to attack her with a 13.
That'll hit.
Okay.
Am I close enough to her? Because I know she moved.
You're all within very close of all of each other. So,
okay.
Unless it requires to be in melee range, you're within close.
Okay.
So, what do you need to be close or melee?
It said I need to be very close.
Yeah, very close. Then yeah, you're in very close. So, you can decide to take this damage instead of her if you would like to use that. You just have to burn a stress to do it.
Yep.
And the damage is 8.
That's minor.
Okay. So go ahead and mark your stress and then mark the hit point or armor slot.
Yep.
And I'm going to shift the spotlight back to you all. So who would like to react?
Okay. Well, I've moved up on my my Unstoppables die has moved up by 1 since I hit last time. I'm gonna swing. I'll just everything's pretty much within my reach is very close, so I'm gonna swing on one of the snakes.
Okay. Go for it.
Swingy. $18 with hope.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and collect your hope and then roll the damage. So again, Durf takes this just far too massive sword.
I have so much hope. I can't use it for anything yet.
And so Durf just kind of swings and connects with at least one. I'm going to assume you're going to get the other one as well. How much damage do you do?
I will swing the damage. And I think I add... Sorry, the little... I have a 2 in the window when I'm... Because I have an additional for my... I think it adds to it. My Unstoppable is now moved up to 2.
Yeah.
I can actually bump that.
I believe the base damage for the mace should be... Oh, no. I think...
My base for the damage is 1d8 plus 3.
So, because you have...
Maybe it's already adding it.
Stop. Because you have Unstoppable already in there, it will automatically add it for you. So if you just click on the roll, it will do all the damage modifying for you.
Sweet. Yep.
It's one of the things I like about the character sheet.
Get out of my way. Okay, there.
So
so that's everything counted, so that is 9, so it's counted in total.
So yeah, you go and you cleave the final 2 shrubs out of existence. Now all that is left is these 2 snakes.
What can I use hope for? I'm sorry, I'm just talking out loud.
There's quite a few different things you can use hope for. If you give me a couple seconds here, I can tell you exactly what you...
Well, I had experience, but that's outside of combat, so... I do have Guardian of Hope.
So every class does have a 3 hope ability that you can do. In addition to that, there's actually a list of different things you can use hope for. You can actually spend 3 hope to use what's called a tag team attack. You basically choose someone else and both of you work together to do something, which is very, very cool and fun and creative. So using hope. So you have a bunch of things you can do. You can help an ally. Basically gives an ally advantage. You can initiate a tag team roll, which is mechanically the way it works is you guys describe what you're doing, and then both of you would make a attack roll or a roll to succeed on it. But then whoever's you guys get to choose which one of the rolls that you want to use. And then if it's like an attack, both of you would roll damage for it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like rolling with advantage where two people get to roll, but you get to choose which roll you use. So that's in and of itself is pretty cool.
Okay.
And then obviously most classes have hope features that you can use as well. So that being said, both the remaining shrubs are gone. Who wants the spotlight next?
I'll take it.
Go for it.
Talda, do you want a tag team? I have hope to spare. Do you have hope?
I mean,
Only the person initiating the tag team needs to spend the hope. As far as I can tell, like I've been reading over the tag team thing, and I'm gonna read over it again to be on the safe side. So, tag team rolls, and this is a once per session thing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, we're getting close to the end of the session.
Yeah.
Each player can choose. Oh, it's each player. So yeah, each player can choose to spend 3 hope and initiate a tag team roll. So you both would have to spend 3 hope, but it does mean that you can do some pretty amazing stuff. So.
I can spare 3 if you, as an option. You don't have it's obviously your turn if you want
I don't have the hope.
Okay.
But what I will do is I'll move into another shadow journey to Nightwalk.
Okay.
I appear behind what's his name again? Durf.
Okay.
And I'm going to I'm gonna try and hit the one that is in front of our wizard with my grappler.
Go for it. So again, you guys watch as Talda kind of fades from existence, and suddenly you sense some movement behind you as Talda not only appears but throws out this hook shot. And what's the attack roll?
It is a... Well, that's a crit. I rolled 2 9s.
Not
So
bad at
that's-
all.
A 20 total, but yeah.
So the
I
way
don't know what happens on a crit.
So the way that a crit on an attack roll works, it counts as a success with hope. So take your hope point. And crit damage is you take the maximum amount of the damage dice that you could roll, and then roll
Jesus Christ.
another die on top of that and add it to it. So it's actually effectively the way that damage rolls worked in 4th edition. So you get max damage plus an additional damage die.
19.
19. Yeah, that's a severe.
You got any
So-
rogue shenanigans you can slap on top of that?
So if you would like to,
Good lord.
here we go.
I
If you
mean,
would like to pull the corpse towards you, you can. Otherwise, you could just leave the remnants of this snake there.
I mean, I meant to hook shot it so that it wasn't next to the wizard and it was next to the guardian, but now a corpse is next to the guardian.
Yeah. So you guys watch as this weird vine thing's like shh, and then it just gets pierced completely through like scorpion style, and you hear this kind of unearthly voice you've never heard come from Talda go, "Get over here!" and shoom, and suddenly there is a dead vine in front of you, Durf.
Again, Durf is wondering if you're related to another Sheikah, you know. He's run into.
Who wants to take the spotlight next?
I guess it would be me.
Go for it.
Is there just one snake creature left now?
There's just one, and technically, they were the one that was dealing with Talda before she shadow stepped away. So it's within close range of you guys right now.
Cool. I'm gonna wild flame it again.
Okay. We'll say
So-
if you have any ranged abilities, which your great staff is a ranged attack. The armor shredding only happens on a successful melee attack. So if you wanted to just blast it with a blast from your staff.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
And I just point out I have hit, so my unstoppable dice now moved up to a 3.
Okay.
Sorry, I need to do math.
Math is hard.
This is really embarrassing. I think I know what this is, but I'm gonna just double check. Okay, I was correct. 21 with hope.
Not bad at all. It definitely hits. Go ahead and roll to the damage and take your hope. So, how do you envision this attack working? Are you gonna just like shoot it? Is this like shooting, like swinging it in a wave coming out, a la like Age of Calamity Master Sword attacks? Or
I'll do the little like swipe, and then a force energy comes out.
Cool.
For 5 points of magical damage.
5 points, which will be a minor threshold, which is actually all that guy needs.
Hey, yo.
So, you take or actually, we can do it this way. Describe your victory, claim your kill. How do you see this ending?
Arcane energy just like passes right through that snake, and it like dissipates into the weave.
Okay, so you guys watch as Liana grasps her great staff and kind of slams it into the ground, and you watch as the ambient magical energy around her starts to coalesce into the tip of her great staff. She starts swinging it around and kind of spinning it, and eventually she makes this large swing, and this large wave of arcane energy goes, and as it impacts the vines as a snake, you watch it effectively Thanos dust itself and fade into nothingness.
Yeah.
As you all stand there in the forest, the chaos of battle slowly dissipating, something feels unnaturally wrong. The trees themselves still seem to be almost shrieking, and you guys hear just in the back of your mind, "Help me! Help me! Please, help me!" And suddenly the trees themselves start to scream in anger and rage. You just hear this overwhelming shout, "No!" And suddenly the ground very close to you starts to rumble and burst, and you can see the very essence of nature starts to coalesce itself into this giant spiritual figure. As it coalesces, you can see this nature spirit has somehow been corrupted by something. So the normally kind of pleasant blue glow that you would expect with a nature spirit is tainted with this kind of greens and dark purples and things. You can see it seems angry and almost in pain as it starts to lash out. And as it does, you suddenly hear the sound of geese from the sky start coming down, and this huge swarm of geese starts rushing towards you. Unfortunately, though, that is where we're going to end it for today. I would have loved to kind of finish off this story, but it's getting a little late.
Depending what's going down, maybe, I don't know, next week I'm open, whatever.
But as always, if you missed any of this, we do put all, I hope we will be putting this on the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Zelda Universe. Is TV a part of it too, or is it just Zelda Universe?
Zelda Universe TV, I believe.
Zelda Universe TV, where you can also check out the new ZU cast and all the other really cool stuff that they've been doing. If we have another week where we can't we can't get enough people to play, I am more than happy to run this again. Maybe even include a couple new characters if we have other people that want to join in. With this being our first time playing Daggerheart, what did you guys think? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Once you get the ball rolling, it actually is very easy to figure out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will
So
say I
not
have
bad.
issues with the UI overall, but they have figured out the most important parts to get in there.
Yep. And obviously, Demiplane is not run by Darrington Press or Critical Role, and so obviously two different companies trying to come up with the same thing. Things are going to be weird.
Yep.
But overall, I had a blast. This is actually one of the smoother games that I've had a chance to kind of run. So yeah, we'll see what
And
happens.
like most things, just you have to just like I can add this and this and this if I have to.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to be running a Daggerheart game on my own channel. No idea when. But yeah, I hope everybody in chat had some fun. Otherwise, again, it's going to be all for us today, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.